Welcome to LivingBetterITV.com. Our mission is total wellness for the total person. We bring together professionals and experts to help empower individuals to achieve excellence in every area of life. Today we're visiting with attorney Sue Allen. Sue will give us valuable information in the area of wills, why we need them, and what happens to us when we don't have a will. So as people who love our families and want to protect them, we're going to be very interested to learn from our welcomed guest, Sue Allen. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you, Carol. It's a pleasure to be here. You asked the question about whether or not everybody needs a will. And the answer to that is yes and no. No in the sense that if you die with property and you don't have a will, the state of Texas has already decided what is to become of your property. We do that through the intestacy statutes. And the way that those statutes are written are sometimes what people want and sometimes not what they want. I can think of an example that I've had in my own practice in which there was a gentleman who died of a young age, a very successful executive in the Metroplex, who died without a will. He died with a wife and one child, at least with his wife, as far as he knew. Well, not as far as he knew, but as far as his wife knew. As it turns out, when he was in high school, he'd had an indiscretion and he'd had a child with another woman. And the way he decided to handle his child support was to pay a lump sum figure of like $15,000 instead of making monthly child support payments. And he, for whatever reason, decided not to have a relationship with that child. But when he died at age 45 from a heart attack, that child showed up. And that child, according to the state of Texas, was every bit his son as was his daughter he'd raised with his wife. So instead of his wife getting his entire estate, his wife only got her one-half community portion of their estate. And his one-half of their community property was divided between his daughter and his son. That was not something he anticipated. So to the extent that you don't know what the state of Texas has in mind for your property when you die, you need a will so that you have power over that decision instead of the state of Texas. Now, you asked the question, what happens if someone dies without a will? Well, that goes along with why you need one. If you die without a will, the state of Texas has decided who gets your property. And not only do you not get to make that decision, but your loved ones who are left behind, even if it is just your wife, or you have children with just your wife until we go to your spouse, or to your wife and your children who you want to have it, it's going to cost them a lot more to get your property and your affairs straight than if you had a will. Texas has a wonderful thing called independent administration. It does require a will, however, to take advantage of those provisions. And if you have independent administration, your estate can be handled very quickly and very inexpensively, as opposed to if you have to have your estate administered, in which it becomes just as expensive as it is in other states like California or Arizona, where they don't have independent administration.
Well, and not only taking care of yourself, in reality you're taking care of your loved ones by taking that responsibility and getting that handled.
Oh, you are. Because Carol, I mean, you know, and you've heard it, I'm sure, anecdotally, but I'm telling you, a will just saves families, because when there's not a clear direction on who gets what, families break up over money after somebody dies. And with the will, not saying it's perfect and smooth sailing, but it sure makes things go better. And people understand, this is what mama said, this is what daddy said, and they can live with that. But if there's no clear-cut decision, families fall apart, and it's tragic. And they waste a lot of money. It ends up going to lawyers as opposed to the family members that you might want to have it.
So it's an emotional situation to deal with, but it really pays off in the long run for everybody.
It does.